call this meeting to order.
Mrs. Dameron.
Present.
Mr. Spence.
Here.
Mr. DeStefano.
Here.
Administrator.
Present.
Mayor Petrella.
Present.
Solicitor Lynn.
Present.
Fiscal officers present. Dr. Scarpone.
Present.
Mr. Matterin.
Here.
And Mr. Merriman.
Here.
Now we're going to stand for a moment of silence in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next on the agenda, I need an approval for the minutes from January 6, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Dameron.
Yay.
Mr. Spence.
Yay.
Mr. DeStefano.
Yay.
Dr. Scarpone.
Yay.
Mr. Matterin.
Yay.
Mr. Merriman.
Yay.
I need approval for the special council meeting held on January 26 of 2022.
So moved. Second.
Mrs. Dameron.
Yay.
Mr. Spence.
Yay.
Mr. DeStefano.
Yay.
Dr. Scarpone.
Yay.
Mr. Matterin.
Yay.
And Mr. Merriman.
Yay.
Next, is there anyone in the public that would like to come forward and speak to council? Nobody needs to speak? Okay. Moving right along. Council reorganization for the rules of the council. I'd like to get a motion to go back to 2 meetings a month, starting in March. And we will stick to the rules, and we will only have 1 meeting in June, July, and August for the summer months. But starting in March, we will go back to the first and third Thursday of every month.
I make a motion for council reorganization to go back to first and third.
Second.
Mrs. Dameron.
Yay.
Mr. Spence.
Yay.
Mr. DeStefano.
Yay.
Dr. Scarpone.
Yay.
Mr. Matterin.
Yay.
Mr. Merriman.
Yay.
Anyone have anything else with along the rules?
We have the submitted new committee members. It's in your packet. There was one mistake on the streets and sanitation. Mr. Madden was listed twice, and everybody is on 4 committees. Anybody has any questions, let me know.
All right, so do we approve of the rest of the rules of council? The rules that were in the packet from last meeting?
So moved.
Okay.
Mrs. Dameron.
Yay.
Mr. Spence.
Yay.
Mr. DeStefano.
Yay.
Dr. Scarpone.
Yay.
Mr. Matterin.
Yay.
Mr. Merriman.
Yay.
Next on the agenda is ordinance and resolutions, and we do not have any this evening. We do have some good news. We did hire a solicitor, Mr. Jake Lynn. So hopefully by next meeting, we will have some ordinance to go over. One thing I put in the packets for the street committee to look over is the parking passes. So my suggestion is we charge $5 to cover the cost of the parking pass, and it will be renewed yearly. Like I said, with the snow season still going on, hopefully the committee can meet soon and start to approve any of those people that have issues with parking so we can get the cars off the street for the plow guys. The other one would be the Ordinance Committee. As I just said, we need to finalize some of the ordinances that have been lingering since, I think, back in October. We need to finish those, and that committee needs to meet as soon as possible with the solicitor and get those lined up for next meeting.
Were there 3 or 4 ordinances that we talked about? Well, I think we mentioned.
I didn't bring that piece of paper, Randy, but you're right. One of them was, I didn't bring it with me, but there are.
Tell me if I'm right, though. I think I have a list here. We talked about the political signs, the bed and breakfast, and then the contract with the police department for flagging for utilities on the streets, and one that we talked about, but it never made it to the ordinance meeting yet, and it was the charge pay that was brought up.
Yeah, I think there's a couple more.
Yeah.
The animal care was one that was also brought up that we never elaborated on. Under 32 degrees and 90 degrees being left outside, that was another one that we haven't.
I know I left that at my desk. I'll make sure I get,
Longevity was the other one. The longevity.
Longevity. I think as a whole, I think we need to dive into all of our ordinances and start to try to get them all up to date. I think some of them haven't been looked at in probably a long time, so I think all of us work together and try to get those up to date with things. Next will be reports and announcements. For the Wintersville Police Department for the month of January, collected $440.93. Money collected from old fines from January 2016 to January of 2022, $120,214.93. The police department had 132 complaints, 29 traffic arrests, 24 auxiliary, and 21 different types of cases for the month. City brought in from city revenue from mayor's court was $3,485. State revenue was $754.50. Total revenue brought in $4,310.93. For code enforcement, we had 6 licenses and 4 permits for a total of $700. I believe that's all the money report. And then for the mayor's report, I have a few things to go over. I've been discussing with Walt about starting a building maintenance plan. As we can all tell, this building, I believe the village moved here in '98. And it's time to start doing some cosmetic work that needs done. If not, we're gonna have issues long term. So we've contacted some electricians to get some estimates there. And we've contacted, we're trying to contact roofers. It's not an easy task because it is a flat roof. Not many people want to touch it. And we're also looking at doing, starting to get the walls painted, get them up to date now that we're getting the floors up to date as well. And there's a plumbing issue on the roof, which we're looking into to get that handled. The biggest one, in my opinion, is something with the electric. So on the one bid proposal that we already got back, we right now use 27,000 watts roughly because this building is not up to date with LEDs. If we switch, we will be at 17,000 watts, saving us 35% less energy being used. Like I said, we have $30,000 in the budget for the building, and I'm not saying we have to use that all immediately, but it's something we need to start looking at quickly for the long run. And even if we span this out, I asked them to bid it out the electric at least in 3 phases for each floor. So hopefully that can get rolling as well, because it'll save us money all around once we get this up to date with LEDs. And a lot of the lights are in pretty bad shape.
Do we, or did we ever have a maintenance contract with somebody for the building?
We have a cleaning, rough cleaning contract, that's it.
But no maintenance for the building?
Separately for the air, and it's not a contract per se. We have one company that does the air and heating. We have a company that does the generator. And then we hire a contract plumber if we have issues with any of the plumbing in the building.
Okay.
Also on top of that, so this quote is just if we switch over to LED, it doesn't include the cost of switching balances and all that stuff, or?
No, so mostly it's all just going to be a complete, just easy switch over to LED. Some of them need completely replaced, so the electricians all are aware of that before they bid.
So we haven't got a quote on those yet. We just know something's coming on down the line, is what you're
Yes,
saying?
yeah.
Okay. At one point, I know the state of West Virginia had it. I don't know if Ohio had it or not, but if you was doing this kind of upgrade when it comes to utilities, they had grants available. I know we took advantage of it over in Weirton, and I'm confident it was through the state. I'll right next to the ordinance thing. I'll look and see who we got ours through the state, what department it was. Maybe Ohio has the same thing. I'm not confident.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
But they had some kind of, if you spend $1,000, they give you 200 or something. You know what I'm saying? It was some kind of contribution to it. I'll look and see where we got it and maybe do a little digging
I
around
think
on it.
AEP had that at one time, but I thought it was just for residential customers, not businesses. And I don't even know if that's still in
Yeah,
effect.
this wasn't through Mon Power. This is definitely
Okay.
through the state or some manufacturing extension partnership we got involved with. I'll see. I'll take a look and see if there is. We'll definitely take advantage of it.
All right. Next, back to, I have a few more announcements. So for the Planning Commission, Mr. Mattern was on that for a very long time. We appreciate your service there. He did request to not be on it this year, so I appointed Carmen DiStefano to the Planning Commission. For the Wintersville Planning Commission, I have left Bob DiBenedetto and Bill Davis on the Wintersville Planning Commission, and I have appointed Bernie Cascioli as the third person, third citizen to be on that. Charlene Prentice, I've asked her to stay on for our SVRTA representative. And then also Bob Lockhart, I've asked him to stay on as SVRTA, Rita, BHJ, and Seven Ranges Fire District. Other things I've been working on, I've spoke to State Representative Ronnie Ferguson's office about the gas tax that's looming. There's not really a lot of movement on it at the moment, but it would, if they get rid of the gas tax, we would lose roughly $100,000 to our budget every year, if not more. So I did make him aware of how that would impact our village and that we may need his help on that going forward. I've also spoke to Walt. Hopefully we can get together with some of the committees if we have anything we want to put in for the capital budget project. Ronnie's office stated that they would help us try to pass that along to the state and try to get us approved if we, we talked about doing parks, things like that. If we have something major we want to bid, we have till, I believe, March 18th to turn that in. So if we can get the committees together, go over that with Walt, we're aware we have the packet to fill out and get that ready to be resubmitted to his office. Also in your package, you'll see personnel performance reviews. If council can take a look at those, and if anyone has any suggestions anywhere, please come back and when we meet, right, President?
Yeah, we can, that'll be part of the personnel meeting to go over this, see if anybody wants to make some additions to it. It's just a rough template on starting this process, and we're open to suggestions to make this a streamlined affair.
The next matter, I used my authority. I had Walt use emergency spending. We did outfit a truck with a new snowplow and a salt spreader, as we had a few things. It cost $12,787.50. It was needed. Obviously, we had multiple trucks down, multiple salt spreaders break throughout the past few storms. So I did ask for emergency spending on that. Next, I would like to thank two of our police officers, Mia Potenzini and Sean McGinnis. I got a call on January 23rd from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, and I thought that was really nice that they reached out to me and just told me what a wonderful job those two police officers did handling a situation, and I just thought they should be recognized because it's not every day you get a compliment, so I think they did a great job, and the sheriff's department said they did a wonderful job in assisting them. Also, I want to thank Wintersville plow drivers. They've been handling a lot of issues between trucks, multiple things breaking and being short-staffed. They did a great job. Justin with our water department handling all the water line breaks, making sure we get those fixed. I also want to thank our police. They did a wonderful job with all the traffic lights being out the day of the ice storm. So it was not easy for them or convenient, but they did do a great job. And I want to thank AEP. Their linemen did a good job being out there facing the storm, trying to get everyone power back on. I know it took some longer than others, but I think they did a wonderful job as well. That's all I have. Walt, on to you.
Okay. Short report this evening, just to keep you updated. We've completed the detailed specs for the meter project. We'll be going out to bid sometime the latter part of this month for the meter replacement project. It's in the infrastructure report I gave you under the sewer. We received a new discharge permit from EPA. It's a 5-year. We originally had there is a schedule of compliance in there. The main thing was to help control and reduce the I&I. We're now getting ready to go for some additional funding for phase 6 of that, but they've thrown in another compliance item, which is to develop a facilities plan. They've given us 5 years to do that, which is coincidentally the life of the permit. Bruce and I had a meeting with Quixels last week. They're developing some of the suggestions, what to implement, and be some additional, more smoke testing, trying to get some of the rainwater, roof drains out of the sanitary sewer system, and probably another item for the Ordinance Committee. We seem to be getting a substantial amount of people installing sump pumps in their basement and dumping them out onto the street, even if there is no catch basin or anything nearby. And we've had some icing up in some areas. In years past, our crews have installed a catch basin, tied a few of those in, and extended drainage along the street. But we may want to look at that a little further. And back along with the sewer, we need to update our grease ordinance. Several of the new lift stations are getting quite a ring of grease around them. We do have some treatment on that, but some of the businesses, we need to be able to request verification that they have a grease trap and have a grease trap properly emptied. It's just costing us and the residents more money to do this maintenance. It fouls up the floats, could possibly burn up the pumps. It's just kind of a nasty mess. Third item is we have gone through quite a bit of salt here. We've ordered in 800 ton. We spent $51,000 on that, and that's not including any pay or overtime pay. Had Vern order another 500 ton. They'll be delivering starting next week. We're on track. We ordered 1,500 ton on the ODOT order. We're allowed to go 10% over that if we need to. So hopefully spring will come sooner than expected, and we'll be okay with the salt this season. Last item is my annual infrastructure report. It's maybe a little more lengthier than usual. I'm not going to go through it in detail, but it's broken out. I've added a executive summary to each section just to give you an idea on how things are going. Mr. Matter, there will be pictures in it as in years past. Hopefully by the first meeting in March, we'll have the pictures printed and punched, and you can insert them into your packets. There is a street paving schedule in there, and some 40-year water line replacement schedule that's required by EPA. Budget is near the back, and some of last year's budget items also. Probably, with the mayor's permission, maybe first meeting in March, we'll have a small 10-minute quiz on it to see if any of you read it or anything. That's all I have tonight, Mayor.
All right, does anyone have any unfinished business?
I just want to revisit something that was brought up, I think back in possibly December, about a representative from council attending the Jefferson County Commissioners meeting. I just wondered if we were going to consider doing that for the communication purpose.
I think that's a great idea. Does anybody want to volunteer?
I think we could possibly rotate it, depending on schedules and what have you.
When are the meetings?
Thursday, 9 a.m. As many can come. I mean, you could all come at one time if you wanted to. It might be better to break it up at least 2 or 3 at a time. It's kind of crowded in that room. I don't want you to have to stand in the hallway waiting for your time. So.
Thursday mornings.
Love to have you, though. Actually, I was going to say something.
Thank you, Commissioner.
The mayor will give me a minute at the end.
Is it every Thursday morning at 9 a.m.? Okay. Probably should work up a schedule maybe to, it's going to depend on people's work schedules as well.
Yeah. Well,
I'd like to attend, I'll
Yeah.
check my schedule out.
Yeah, we'll try to see what happens.
Okay.
See who can make it and who can't.
Okay.
Anybody
That's all
else
I
with
got.
unfinished business?
Would
On
the
the,
beautification be unfinished or new?
you can go either way, really.
I'd go into old business because you already started it, right? Unless you got something new that you're going to add to it.
Well, I just want to
Go
report.
ahead.
Okay. I just want to report on the Beautification Committee. Great group of people that we put together. And we had an excellent meeting. We did, narrow some things down. There were excellent suggestions that went back and forth. We came down to a focus point that we do want to work on the signs at the entrance, both entrances to the village. Have some people that are looking into, costs that are associated with that, which I had already told Walt that we would get, these to him. We also had someone who was going to check into the grants from JB Green Team for benches. And we are, like I said, we had brainstormed ideas. We have done some prioritizing. There were, like I said, several suggestions. We had also talked about the garbage cans with the planters on top. We have someone who's checking into the youth groups. There's even high school students trying to get their community service credits, and with COVID, they haven't been able to. So we're trying to incorporate that into different programs as far as things that we want to do. We're also concentrating on the Memorial Park right past Chase Bank and seeing what we can do with that. We've had volunteers step up and make suggestions as well, but also volunteer to do a little bit of beautification on that particular area, including planning, decorating, something to make it more attractive when you come into the village on that end. We meet again the end of this month.
That's great. Anybody else for unfinished business? All right, on to new business.
I got a question. What, on our budget, maybe I didn't see it, it was probably in there, but what was left over from the year? Like, what was the surplus at the end of the year of our budget?
You're talking just general fund?
Yeah, just, everything that was left over for, at the end of the year.
No, but I mean just general fund or everything?
Everything.
That's the carryover balance. We'd have to have the budget book. I mean, we don't have those numbers off the top of our head, but you have a budget book at home. And
Right, I didn't know if I missed it or not, that's why.
Yeah, we
That's why
can
I-
show you where that's at, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but you kind of need to have that in front of you to explain that.
Okay.
We'll be happy to do that.
Okay, great, thanks. And we got hit with a barrage of water line breaks. And might need to budget on this also, but I don't know. What was a general payout that we had to pay for Border Patrol and Fort Steuben maintenance to help us out on our water line breaks?
Haven't received the invoice from Border Patrol yet. Fort Steuben was, it's probably on your pay sheet here. I want to say, I can't remember. They're the only ones that sent the bill so far.
And there's a 21, 22, 20, 21,
That's,
$122.50.
that would be it. That's for a couple men, piece of equipment. And I believe they used our materials. I'm not sure of that, but I think they used our clamp.
Okay. And just new business, I'd like to schedule a personnel committee meeting about a week out. I believe it's myself, Gail Damron, and Dr. Penny Scarpone. Does anybody have any objections for like 6 o'clock next Thursday?
Nope, I'm good.
All right, we'll get with the secretary and have it published.
I have one thing to address under new business. I know a couple of citizens that have called, just so everyone is aware, we do not own or operate or own the rights to any of the Facebook pages you see out there. There's different admins. You can usually look them up. If you have an issue with how they run their page, that's between you and them. The village does pass news along to them, but we do not own the rights to any of them or operate them, just so everyone is aware. Also under new business, I think the chief has some great news for all of us. If you want to come up, chief.
First thing, good evening and welcome to council. I would like to introduce Michael Campbell to you. He was just sworn in probably an hour ago now. Is our newest Wintersville full-time police officer. Mr. Campbell's 24 years old with a little over 3 years' experience under his belt. I would like to introduce him to you and also request that the probationary pay be waived to start him out at $16 an hour. And I'll bring him back in 6 months for final approval.
I'll make that motion to waive the probationary pay.
I'll second it.
Mrs. Dameron?
Yay.
Mr. Spence?
Yay.
Mr. DeStefano?
Yay.
Dr. Scarpone? Yeah. Jason Mattern?
Yay.
Bob Marion?
Yay.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome aboard.
Congratulations.
Does anybody have anything else?
I had a couple things. Well, we had problems getting salt in. Is this the first time we've been, even though we've
No.
ordered the salt, it's been coming in on a regular basis?
Yes,
No-
we had
no hiccups
500
with
ton
that?
first order and 300 ton second order, received it all. We're back with Morton Salt. They're very regular and getting truckers to us.
Okay, and just wanted to thank the administration on two issues we had with a couple residents over on Marshall and Beechwood Boulevard recently. So I just wanted to give a shout out for their involvement with those two particular instances.
Anybody else? All right. Next on the agenda, any transfers, Denise?
No, sir.
All right. Do we have approval can I get a motion to pay the bills?
So moved on the payment of the bills?
Second.
Mrs. Dameron?
Yay.
Mr. Spence?
Yay.
Mr. DeStefano?
Yay.
Dr. Scarpelli? Jason Mattern?
Yay.
Bob Marion?
Yay.
Our next scheduled meeting will be March 3rd, 2022 at 7 PM. And after that, we will be going back to 2 meetings a month, so everyone is aware. This meeting is adjourned.